Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Alert TV channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today's story is centered on one of the most intense developments in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, a night that will be remembered as a night of fire in the skies when Russia unleashed a massive wave of 93 drones directed at Ukrainian cities and military positions. This was not just another strike in the long list of clashes between the two nations, but a demonstration of technology, strategy, and the growing complexity of modern warfare. To understand the depth of this event, let's break it down into its different elements: the exterior view of the attack, the internal realities on the ground, the performance of the drones used, the safety features that were meant to protect Ukraine, the unique selling points of Russia's drone strategy, the metaphorical price being paid on both sides, and finally, the conclusion that sheds light on where this war might be heading. From the exterior perspective, the sight was both terrifying and astonishing. Imagine the night sky over Ukraine suddenly filled with dozens upon dozens of glowing objects, each one buzzing with precision engines, each one programmed with deadly intent. The 93 drones did not come in a scattered fashion but in coordinated waves, resembling swarms of steel birds. Civilians watching from the ground could see streaks of lights moving across the sky, some intercepted by Ukrainian air defenses, others making it through to hit targets. The exterior impression of this assault was one of overwhelming scale. It gave the sense that Russia was testing not just the strength of Ukraine's defense systems but also the psychological endurance of its people. The sound of engines, explosions, and anti-aircraft fire combined into a symphony of war that made the night unforgettable for those who lived through it. On the interior side, the reality was even harsher. Inside Ukraine, families huddled in basements, children covering their ears while parents whispered words of comfort they did not believe themselves. Soldiers inside bunkers listened carefully to updates on their radios, trying to determine how many drones had been shot down and how many remained in the air. In command centers, Ukrainian officials watched radar screens light up with moving objects, trying to calculate interception paths and organize their air defense units. The interior situation also revealed the strain on Ukraine's infrastructure. Power grids, communication lines, and military depots were among the prime targets of these drones. Each successful hit meant more difficulties for ordinary people, whether it was a blackout in their homes or a shortage of supplies. The big picture of the interior reality was that Ukraine was not just fighting to save military assets, it was fighting to maintain the basic heartbeat of its society while under constant attack. Performance is a critical factor in this story because the drones used by Russia were not ordinary. Many reports suggest they were Shahed-type drones, supplied by Iran and modified by Russian engineers to suit their operational needs. Their performance lies in their ability to fly long distances, maintain low altitude to avoid radar detection, and carry warheads strong enough to damage critical infrastructure. In this attack, out of 93 drones launched, Ukrainian defenses reportedly shot down a significant number, but even if half or two-thirds were intercepted, the remainder still managed to cause damage. The performance of the drones can be measured in terms of endurance, precision, and cost-effectiveness. A single drone may not be as destructive as a missile, but when nearly 100 are deployed at once, the performance as a swarm creates immense pressure on the defenders' resources. Ukrainian anti-aircraft missiles are expensive compared to the relatively cheap drones, which is why Russia continues to rely on this strategy. Safety features become the next point of analysis. Ukraine has invested heavily in layered air defense systems. Western partners have provided systems like NASAMS, IRIS-T, and the iconic Patriot missiles. Local forces have also deployed machine guns, searchlights, and mobile units to intercept drones at closer range. During this assault, these safety features were put to the ultimate test. Reports indicate that Ukrainian defenses managed to intercept the majority of incoming drones, which demonstrates that their safety systems are working at high capacity. However, the sheer number of drones means that no system can guarantee 100% safety. The idea of safety in modern warfare is fragile, because for every missile or drone intercepted, another may slip through. For civilians, the only safety comes from shelters, underground stations, and the hope that their area will not be targeted. Unique selling points, when applied to this scenario, highlight Russia's evolving strategy. The uniqueness of launching 93 drones in one night lies in the psychological message it sends. It tells Ukraine and its allies that Russia has both the stockpile and the willingness to launch massive swarm attacks. Another unique aspect is the saturation tactic, overwhelming the defense systems by sheer numbers. Even the most advanced systems can only engage a limited number of targets at a time, and by sending dozens of drones together, Russia increases the chance that some will reach their targets. The unique selling point for Russia is not just the physical damage caused but the psychological warfare of making Ukrainians feel that no night will ever be safe. Now we must talk about the price. The financial price of these operations is complex. Drones are cheaper than missiles, and that is one reason Russia favors them. But there is also the price Ukraine must pay in intercepting them, since using expensive missiles to down cheap drones creates a long-term disadvantage. Beyond finances, the real price is human. Families losing homes, children growing up in fear, soldiers constantly stretched thin, and civilians living without reliable electricity or water because infrastructure is targeted. The metaphorical price is also international, as each large-scale attack like this one raises questions about how much more support Ukraine needs, and whether the world is ready for a conflict that could drag on for years. In conclusion, the night of fire in the skies over Ukraine was more than just a military operation. It was a statement, a test, and a preview of how modern conflicts are evolving. Drones, once considered secondary tools, are now frontline weapons shaping strategies. Ukraine's defenses proved resilient, but not unbreakable. Russia showed its capacity to project power through numbers rather than just sophistication. The world observed once again that the conflict is far from resolution, and both sides are paying heavy prices. For Ukraine, every night like this is a challenge of survival. For Russia, every massive strike is both a show of strength and a drain on resources. For the international community, it is a reminder that peace is still a distant dream. The night of 93 drones will remain etched in memory as an example of how technology, determination, and human suffering intertwine in the theater of war.